Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Baja G4 garage maintenance. This is something that I do every year. This is the first episode. We're going to do the bash plate underneath the battery case, and we will be removing the tires. Alright, to start off, these are the tools that you're going to need for this. What I have is a folding star key set. You could also use what's called a torque screwdriver. The torque bit size you're going to use is a T25. After that, we have a racket wrench. You can also use a standard wrench as well. You would just have to remove it every time when you're loosening the nut. And the other tool you can use as well is a torque wrench. I would only use the torque wrench for when you're removing it, and I would use the ratchet wrench or a standard wrench when you are retightening them on. And you will need a 15mm wrench or torque wrench socket. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the bash plate guard off of the battery case. There is also a plate guard underneath the motors as well. We can do that at a later time. If you have a stand for your boards, the screwdrivers will work just fine. The reasoning why I like the folding tool set that I have is that I can give it an L-shaped angle, so I'm able to do it with the wheels actually being on the ground. When you are removing these screws, there's going to be 3 on the front, and then you're going to have 3 in the back as well. Once you have the screws removed, it's still going to be on there. There is an adhesive piece in the center of the plate to separate the plate and the battery case itself. So now we're going to remove the tires. The first one, I'm going to use the ratchet wrench first. As you can see, you do have to put a little bit of oomph into it to remove it. You do have Loctite on each of these, so just remember that. And once it's removed, you're going to have the nut, and then you're also going to have the washer. The second tire here, I'm going to use the torque wrench. I did try using the ratchet wrench first, but it was still kind of stuck and I couldn't remove it. So obviously if you have a torque wrench, I would suggest using that first to remove the nuts off your tires. But if you do have the ratchet wrench, obviously it's still doable. It just takes a little bit more muscle to get those removed. We do have 3 different things I would use to clean. There is vinegar, which you have to be careful with. You can use it for certain pieces, but for others you can't, because there is an anti-rust on some of the parts. Those you don't want to use it on, or it's going to remove that. But for anything else, it is actually really good to get some really grimy stuff out. So you can use it if you want. It's not something I highly recommend. I will be using it for here because there's nothing on here that I have a risk of losing any kind of anti-rust on it. There's also club soda. That's kind of a standard. You could use that for all of it. It's not the best for getting really grimy stuff out, but it's something you can use to clean. And then the third one, which I don't have an example right now, is rubbing alcohol. I feel like that's kind of the best to use, but that can get expensive. If you do have any questions that relate to the video that I showed today with the bash plate or the tire removal, please leave in the comments below. I will try to answer as best as I can, and then we will see you all next time for the next piece of the stripping down of the board. Take care, everyone.